What can they trade? Who would people want? Who would want to come play? Is Cooper Flag enough?
The Knicks for so long were one of the teams like the Wizards that we made fun of. They were the team.
Was they ever Wizards bad? Moving on to the West Coast, you dig. We got the Lakers, we got the Timberwolves. They got another game tonight. Probably by the time this come out, we'll be unknown the result. But that series, how do you see that series going?
It's crazy because you just don't really know what you're going to get from either team on a given night, right? So the Timberwolves in game one, they just looked bigger. They looked more athletic. Naz Reid in game one was that X factor. You had Julius Randle doing things. And so I thought to myself, okay, like it was sort of a very balanced effort, right? Jaden McDaniels had 25. Ant didn't even need to do that much. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was doing his thing. But I guess the question is, what version of Mike Conley in the Timberwolves are we going to get? Because Mike Conley was getting eviscerated in game two, almost borderline unplayable. So Lakers have basically said, we're barely playing Jackson Hayes anymore. We're going to play LeBron or Rui at the 4 or the 5. Yeah. So I think that's probably the smartest way to go about it. But it really comes down to, is Luka going to continue to put up almost 40 a night? Can we get 20 to 25 from LeBron? And then can we get anything from anybody else? And if that is the case, I think the Lakers could win this series as it goes on, just simply because it's that Braun mentality, that X factor that he has. Luka loves crushing Rudy Gobert and the Timberwolves. We've seen that a bajillion times. I think that Luka will always play well in this series. I think he's like a guy, if you're betting, that you should just continue to bet his points prop every single game. But what are we going to get anything out of Rudy Gobert? 2 points in game one?
I mean, we should.
Come on.
He be so worried about guarding brothers. Like he look like the Drake meme when he guarding KD in that one video. Like he be like out there trying, his feet be just get the tapping. I be like, somebody help Rudy out, man. Somebody perimeter, please, somebody. But, to that point, Dante DiVincenzo, Naz Reid, all the fellas had damn near 4 fouls in 2 minutes the last game. So you really couldn't judge that game off of, like, damn, what could have happened if people stayed out of the trouble? Like, I would like to see Dante DiVincenzo get maybe even slid into that starting lineup over Mike Conley in certain games. Not every game, because we got to keep the respect on the OG. But I think that they get out to such big leads or get out to such momentum in the first quarters when the Lakers do win. Like, Luka be starting off the game with 20 points in the first quarter. He's like, somebody, look, use your fouls on him, please. Like, this can't happen. So, I don't know. I think that series still up in the air.
Definitely.
Especially how they locking Ant down. They double teaming him. He can't really breathe out there. So, it's going to take, like you said, Julius Randle or somebody.
To your point, Ant Edwards said after game two, he was like, whatever defense that they were doing was very confusing to me. I didn't understand. He was like, it was part zone. It was every time I got the ball, they went into zone. And it's like, Ant Edwards is a very smart basketball player. He knows how to read defenses. There is something that JJ was drawing up that was making him befuddled. And the question is, between that game and tonight, have they figured that out in film? Have they figured out what the Lakers are trying to do to stop Anthony Edwards? And is there a way for him to break that code or break that defense down and be able to be more effective so that everybody eats? Because Julius Randle did put up 27 in game two, but this whole team as a whole cannot score 85 points. You need 100 points in a game in order to beat the Lakers.
Yeah, you do. You got to know that. And you also got to know what the hell Burton, what the hell Yamas, what the hell.
Here we go.
You feel me? Dame has returned to get all up in Halliburton's face whenever he can, but them efforts still haven't quite worked out. You feel me? Like, I think the Bucks are a better team than they putting out right now, but them slow starts are killing them.
Are they a better team?
I know how you feel. I'm not gonna.
Are they a better team, Jew? I think this Bucks team.
Are they better than this?
Are they? What is this roster really? You know?
Yeah.
What is this roster? And it's kind of like the GMs put them in this place, right? Like John Horst is just got extended, and I'm like, you just traded for Kyle Kuzma. What? You got AJ Green out here getting minutes. The draft picks haven't been great. The trades haven't been great. You traded away one of the best on-ball defenders in our generation in Drew Holiday that got you a ring for a guy in Dame Lillard who's aging just as much as Drew Holiday is, but never wants to play a lick of defense. He's one of those guys who, is a certified cone out there, just letting guys go by him. So You wonder what it is that they were trying to do, and I think maybe just try to keep Giannis happy. Chris Middleton, he's now gone, obviously, in the Kuzma trade. Brooke Lopez for peanuts. Brooke Lopez is getting older, and there's just not a lot of guys. I mean, you got Kevin Porter Jr. out there and Torian Prince out there. Bobby Portis finally comes back from his suspension, but these are not enough guys to be able to compete with anyone. They're just not good enough. It doesn't matter. Dame will have to put up 35. Giannis will have to put up 35, and you're going to have a big Bobby Portis game in order for them to compete for a full 4 quarters. This team, to me, is headed for a full rebuild. I think you got to trade. You got to look at trading Giannis if he wants to go, but you definitely got to trade Dame. And I don't even know what you're getting back since he's basically like my age. I think he's like 37.
Damn, bro, don't put your age out there. Yeah, I thought you was 25. God damn it.
I know. It's cool. 37 is the new 27.
There we are. You feel me? Warriors, Rockets, before we get out of here. Rockets Warriors. That's interesting because Jimmy Butler dodged a serious injury, but got a stupid glute situation going on. And
deep glute.
Deep glute is crazy.
Deep
for Shams
glute
to be
is insane. I almost texted Shams, you should not have put the deep in there with the glute. You just say glute, okay?
Right. Will he sit out next game? Will he not? Knowing Jimmy Butler, he going to come out there and get a horse tranquilizer and be out there looking normal as hell. But without him, Rockets look crazy. They look like they was doing whatever they wanted to do a little bit, even though their offense is not necessarily getting out of the blocks like you would want to. What you think of that series?
Man, I was cooking Jalen Green for not being that guy. And game 1, I've never really been a believer in Jalen Green's game because he's like, all these G League Ignite guys, I just am like, do you really know how to play basketball or do you just know how to get buckets, right? And Jalen Green, obviously a top pick, but a guy who's like, he's a bucket. And he makes these crazy decisions. He just barrels into the defender and throws it up, trying to foul bait. He's throwing it to the side of the backboard, and that killed him. And then he ended up coming back after, I criticized him a lot for game 1, and I think a lot of people did. And he came back with 8 threes, 8 of them. I think it's the highest amount of threes for a player in their first playoff series. Like in a game. That is just an insane amount. Fred VanVleet, I worry about. I worry about him.
Too.
Yeah.
I'm over here with the same thing. Like, what, brother? Are you an NBA champion? Because you're looking like me over. I could do it. Hey, keep going. My bad.
Yeah.
You triggered
right.
me. I got triggered.
It's like, what is Fred doing right now? And I think he and Jalen together as a backcourt, I'm questioning that. I think this team obviously can make it ugly. They can touch up and rough up Steph as much really as they want to because the refs can't call everything.
Right.
And I think it all is predicated on Jimmy. If Jimmy's playing, Jimmy's effective, then the Warriors can win this game because when Steph is having an off game, Jimmy's going to take over and vice versa. And if they're both hitting on all cylinders, God forbid Houston should want that, then it really can get out of control pretty fast. Now, Brandon Pajemski, he was dealing with a stomach illness, so how is he looking? And I know he's not like a role player people really care about, but the Warriors aren't a particularly deep team. So that Rockets 2 deep lineup, big lineup, I don't know why I said 2 deep, 2 bigs lineup, right, with Steven Adams and with Şengün out there on the floor at the same time, I think that's super effective. It really just comes down to how physical they can be, whether Jalen Green shows up like he did in game 1, or in game 2, and then is Jimmy Butler going to play? And because Jonathan Kuminga, what we saw from him, he's not ready. He says, "Oh, I stay ready. It's disrespectful that you ask me if I'm ready. I'm getting pissed." And it's like, no, we're asking you because you don't seem ready.
Miss Rebecca be having the call. Miss Rebecca, what's next?
Yo, what up, Juju? Hey, man, listen, I got a question for you. Like, it's NBA related, and it's odd timing with the playoffs, right? I'm primarily a hockey fan from the Washington, D.C. area, but, like, I'm trying to be into basketball. Like, the past couple years, I've been getting up to speed. And my question to you is, like, the Wizards, I know the Wizards ain't shit, like, the last 30 years, right? But, like, my question is, like, what's it going to take? Like, why have they been so bad for so long? And, like, what's it going to take for them to be in the conversation amongst those like the Knicks, like the Celtics, like the Thunder, et cetera? Like, I just, like, you know, I'm new to the basketball, like, fandom, but I want to get behind my Washington Wizards team. But, like, what do they got to do to be competitive, and why had they not done it yet? Thank you. Have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day.
What's it gonna take? Right. Salute to my dog for calling in. What's it gonna take? Okay. A zombie apocalypse, number one. One of these Aladdin style.
Oh, you got an Aladdin genie bottle.
It's going to take, look, 3 wishes, you feel me? Rub it when you're ready. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take some supernatural stuff to happen for the Wizards organization to get back on track, because I do not see a scenario in my – I'm racking my brain right now. What can they trade? Who would people want? Who would want to come play? Is Cooper Flag enough? Is, like, I don't know, sis. What you think? What's it going to take?
Well, I think because he put him up there, he was like, when can this team be like the Knicks? But remember, the Knicks for so long were one of the teams like the Wizards that we made fun of. They were the team.
Was they ever Wizards bad?
They weren't Wizards bad, but they were pretty damn bad. They were rolling out Taj Gibson and every Morris twin, and they had like 5 or 6 power forwards in the depth chart playing in the starting 5 together. It was like, what are they doing? And we were worried about James Dolan, and is he involved too much? And then they ended up getting Leon Rose and Worldwide West. And then they moved Scott Perry up out of there. And then they said, we got the adults in the room. And then they slowly, piece by piece, found themselves a superstar that the team he was on didn't think he was a superstar in Jalen Brunson. Because his dad was on the team. He's like, Mom, my kid's nice like that. And he is nice like that. And so then you just need like 1 player or 2 players. And you need good culture. You need 1 or 2 players that other players are like, I want to go there. Think about the Spurs. The Spurs have pedigree for a long time, but they, over the last 7-8 years, have been, since Kawhi left, kind of a dumpster fire. But then they get Wemby, a generational player. And all of a sudden, De'Aaron Fox is like, the only place I want to go is San Antonio.
One last ride.
Yeah. So you got pieces. Now, I don't think the Wizards have a piece like that yet. But I think they're working on their culture. They've got some young kids who are fun, like Keyshawn George is pretty fun. Jordan Poole, we know he's got some fun in him. You know, NBA champion. I think Bub Carrington could be fun. But at this point, it's going to be a long ride, right? And I think what it would take is like Cooper Flag will have to go to Washington, and he'll have to be really nice, really fast. Yeah. And hopefully Washington doesn't f it up. That's my take.
You know what? I don't want to do this show too much more times without you involved, sis, because you make it so much more fun. Every guest on here is hilarious and fun. But you and I share the same blood. You and I come from the same womb, you feel me? So I always love having you on here. You my dog. Anything you ever need, I got you no matter
Likewise,
what. You feel me?
You're just one of the most fun, supportive human beings that I've ever met, and I'm happy to call you a friend, Jew.
Appreciate you, sis, always. And we hit that NFL PA party like this here.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We were in there.
You feel me? Come on.
Sneaking me in, getting me a wristband.
We ain't gonna tell them all that. You feel me? Don't expose all that. Look, and thank you for blessing us with your presence. You feel me? For another episode of the Alley Oop, and we're gonna be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. You diggers.